Hey everyone, can you hear me? Hey guys. So the jury, I'll just say what's going on. The jury is in the courtroom. I can't tell you guys anything until after the verdict is read. We're tag teaming this. Stay with me, okay? We're hearing, guys. All right. Is everybody there? Count one, murder in the first degree, guilty. James Craig. Count two, solicitation to commit tampering with physical evidence. That's the with Annabelle Craig, his daughter. Guilty. Stay tuned. Count three. Count three is in now. Count three, solicitation to commit tampering with physical evidence. This is the Casey Bohannon inmate. Guilty. Right. Solicitation to commit perjury in first degree. This is the William Walburn inmate situation. Guilty. Hey, everyone. Good to see everyone. Count five, solicitations to commit murder in the first degree. Has to do with Nathaniel Harris, his ex-wife, again, his Kazi. Guilty. Count six, solicitation to commit perjury in the first degree. Guilty. Count seven, manslaughter, cause or aid suicide. That was the lesser. So that was the lesser charge of the first degree murder, which first degree murder, he's guilty, not guilty in count seven. But that's good because it means that he got charged with first degree murder, plotting, planning, doing it with intent, not causing or aiding her self harm. Not guilty, count seven. So good to see all your comments. They're polling the jury now, making sure they all agree with this verdict. That means they ask each juror one by one, if they agree with this verdict. It's a smart thing to do to make sure there is no loose ends here, that every juror says that, yes, this is what they believe. So they're polling the jury right now. Yeah. So good to see so many of you. Justice for Angela. Over 2,000 people here listening to the verdict, getting some more info. Jury all in agreement. So they polled the jury. They are all in agreement. So there's gonna be a press conference That's gonna be held at the DA's office, later today, I'm not sure when, but whatever we can do, if we can go live with that, we will here at Hidden True Crime. The jury is now leaving the room. I will find out, um, if we could see, if what James Craig was doing. 1 second, guys. Yeah, we're learning more. So, if we can go live at the press conference, we will. We'll do our best to continue with updates, and I also want to tell you, the Hidden True Crime has a very important interview that later this afternoon with someone that has to do with this case, and I think you will all be interested in the interview too. Okay, so I'm hearing word that you couldn't really see James Craig while the verdict was being read. It's a far shot. He's sitting up, he's paying attention, but you couldn't really get a close shot of him on this, WebEx view. They may be doing a sentencing today. We're figuring that out. Heather, thank you. I want you to know this is a tag team, though, effort right now because clearly, to respect the court rules, um, we're not letting the public in on what we can see right now because that is what we've been requested, and so I have a door shut between me and my producer, Grayson, and she is watching for us so that I can respectfully just relay, um, and follow court orders. So thank you, Heather, but, a big thank you to all the people helping me right now. All right. So they may be doing sentencing right now. Judge said recess for at least 10 minutes. They're gonna go greet the jury, and then they will be back for sentencing. So, okay, so with that, let's keep this live going. I might just turn off my camera for a little bit and, um, hit my camera. Let's see. See, guys, I'm still here. Um, let me see. Let me put on a banner, though, 1 second. I'll keep you guys on right now. Okay. So this is oops, see if I can type this in. For sentencing. Break for at least 10 minutes and back for sentencing. Stay tuned. Does that work? Okay. Oh, we have more information. James is sitting at the defense desk still. Nothing else really extreme to reporting right now, but we do have some eyes on the courtroom. That's what's going on. While the jury has left and they're being greeted by people, James is chilling, waiting for his sentencing. Can't really see anything else right now. Okay. Where's everybody listening from? Where's everybody witnessing justice for Angela from? I'd love to see that. Thank you to everyone. Oh, okay. Thank you to everyone who, okay, we can see it on Court TV. They're cool, so they must have gotten permission that live. Wonderful, wonderful. Um, Court TV is pool camera, that means they're the ones that are in there, um, so they're live. Oh, interesting. So, one second, we'll see if we can pull it too. If Court TV has it, I'll head over and we'll pull that, one second. Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna well, so since it's live right now, we're gonna pull that up so we can watch together. You know, there is a question, they did move the speaking pulpit, so so, we are wondering if they're going straight to sentencing. Let me see if I can get this live, one second. So I am not seeing the Court TV live stream, uh, but let's watch the jury verdict being read. We did find that. Yeah, let's watch that together now. So let me pull that up. Again,
And at this time, then I'll ask
here we
Dr.
go.
Martin's team to please stand.
I can't. Let's see, can we hear it?
As the verdict form, count one, murder in the first degree. We, the jury, unanimously and beyond a reasonable doubt, find the defendant, James Craig, guilty of murder in the first degree. Verdict form, count two, solicitation to commit tampering with physical evidence, Annabelle Craig. We, the jury, unanimously and beyond a reasonable doubt, find the defendant, James Craig, guilty of solicitation to commit tampering with physical evidence. Verdict form, count three, solicitation to commit tampering with physical evidence, Casey Bohannon. We, the jury, unanimously and beyond a reasonable doubt, find the defendant, James Craig, guilty of solicitation to commit tampering with physical evidence. Verdict form, count four, solicitation to commit perjury in the first degree. Jury unanimously and beyond a reasonable doubt, find the defendant, James Craig, guilty of solicitation to commit perjury in the first degree. Verdict form, count five, solicitation to commit murder in the first degree, Nathaniel Harris. We, the jury, unanimously and beyond a reasonable doubt, find the defendant, James Craig, guilty of solicitation to commit murder in the first degree. Verdict form, count six, solicitation to commit perjury in the first degree as to Cassiani Constantinidis. We, the jury, unanimously and beyond a reasonable doubt, find the defendant, James Craig, guilty of solicitation to commit perjury in the first degree. As to verdict form, count seven, manslaughter, cause or aid suicide, we, the jury, find the defendant, James Craig, not guilty of manslaughter, cause or aid suicide. Let me then turn to the foreperson and ask, is this the verdict of the jury? Do all of you agree with this verdict?
Yes, we do.
this point in time, you can be seated.
Wow. Okay. Thank you for finding that and pulling it up. So, by the way, that last shot they showed was James Craig with his attorneys there. That's who that was. Wow. Wow. So, justice for Angela today. Um, thank you, everyone. Pretty much guilty on everything except for the thing that the defense wanted us to believe, which was that he aided in Angela's self-harm. And that is the one count that they found not guilty. And thank goodness, because they saw that he plotted, he planned with intent to kill Angela, his wife of 23 years, mother to his 6 children, poisoning her with arsenic, cyanide, oleander, Visine eye drops. Justice has been served, and no, she was not going to ever self-harm, that this was done with intent, with planning. Okay, I am hearing again from Grayson. They will be doing sentencing shortly, so we're gonna stick around and we're gonna hang out here for a little bit longer. Many people say, "Lauren, you're on mute. You're on mute." Thank you for doing that because sometimes I put myself on mute, but I am gonna put myself on mute right now, and then unmute myself if I have anything else to say. Oh my goodness, thank you. Mimi's Love says, "Thank you for all you're doing to bring us these heartbreaking journeys towards justice for these innocent victims. Your hard work is appreciated immensely." Thank you. Thank you to all of you who care. Yeah, right. Oh, thank you, everyone. I said I was going to put you guys on. I was going to put myself on mute, but not quite yet. We're going to monitor the live streams, and if Court TV is streaming, I'm watching everything. 1 second. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Okay, we have a live stream. They are on break. There should be a sentencing. So yes, we've got it. So we will have the live stream of the sentencing as long as they continue with the live stream. We will have the live stream right here. So stay tuned for the sentencing. They are on a break. Again, they are greeting the jurors. They are preparing for the sentencing of James Craig, who has been found guilty of first-degree murder. And I don't need to say the alleged killing anymore. He has been found guilty of killing his wife, Angela Craig, his wife of 23 years, using poisons throughout at least a 10-day period, making her suffer, and using a syringe for the last bit of poison that killed her in the hospital. Thank you, Nina. R.D. Woodruff, I can't lose my spot. Bring on the guilty verdict. Emily, that is beautiful. Emily, you have been a member officially for 2 years, a hidden gem YouTube member, and she says, "A great day to hit 2 years. Thank you for everything." Thank you for everything, Emily. Thank you, Sarah, for the gifted membership. It means so much. So many people are grateful when people gift memberships. Colleen says, I cannot chat, but I'm a subscriber. We see you, Colleen. You should be able to, but I'll make a note. If you're having a hard time chatting, there are times where people have fat fingers. And when I say that, I'm referring to myself. And maybe somebody blocks somebody on accident sometime, but I'll check and make sure that you can. But I see your chat right now, so it looks like we're good. Jen says, glad the jury got this right. Now for the other jury to do the same. Can HTC cover that case? Would love y'all's thoughts. That's a tragic case. We'll see. Maybe we can. Now we've been so busy with so many cases that we have let some really important ones slip in the cracks. But yes, important case. Thank you so much. You don't need to donate anything, but thank you for being grateful. We appreciate you. Yes, somebody is mentioning that the sound isn't great during the live stream. It is true. Court TV and everyone is doing their best, but they only allow so much as far as microphones go in there. So everyone just does their best. Oh, troublemaker. Good to see you. My sound is great, she says. Hillary, how can we receive a free membership? My gifts are turned on. That is the only way. When gifts are gifted, it is random. I can't pick. Moderators can't choose. As long as your gifts are turned on, you have the possibility of getting a gifted membership. And so that is what you need to do, is just make sure on your YouTube channel that your accepting of gifts is turned on. Thank you, Susan, watching from Berkshire, England. Thank you for the amazing updates. You're absolutely welcome. This is such a great day for Angela. Yes, a sad day that she is not here today. In fact, we had a friend of hers write me yesterday. I'll leave that message private, but how heartbroken they are that their friend is no longer here. But it is a good day for justice and for truth. She should be here. Thank you, fireflies. Thank you, Trudy. So as far, one second. One second. I'm going to put myself on mute for just a second. Hold on. All right, guys, never muted it, but so here's the latest. So they're on the break. The judge is still not back in, but all parties are sitting at their respective tables. They're still monitoring everything. We're still checking it out. Now they're starting. The defense is asking for a moment, and we will put this on the screen as soon as we have a live feed. But for now, we're going to continue to let you know everything going on. And as soon as we have a live screen, we will put this on. And I've got someone watching, telling me everything going on. And we are ready to go live the moment we have that. Thank you, everyone, for watching. We have 5,000 people in chat watching the guilty verdict of James Craig. He has been found guilty of first-degree murder. I also want you to know that I just received a text from Tammy Daybell's Aunt Vicky. And she just said, thank God that he is guilty. It is so heartbreaking, but so glad he's been found guilty. She feels literally sick, but is relieved by this guilty verdict. And you can only imagine how close to home this must feel to Tammy Daybell's family, whose husband, Chad Daybell, was also found guilty of murdering his wife to his 5 children, his wife of 30 years, 5 children. It's, so heartbreaking that this has happened. And so we love you, and Vicky. And we too are so glad that Angela is seeing justice. Yeah, I agree. It makes me literally sick, but so grateful that justice has been served. Adriana stating, thank you, Nicole, so much, by the way. And Adriana stating, the jury came back quickly, in my opinion. They were deliberating 7 counts. That takes time. Bravo to them. I agree. So the court will go ahead and proceed to immediate sentencing. That's the latest. Again, the moment we have a live feed, we will put it right here on our screen. Here we go. Don't hear sound yet. Can anyone hear sound? By the way, that is Tolliver. Tolliver, Craig, that is James and Angela's son right there that the camera is on at this moment. We are looking for another stream with sound. We're struggling. This looks to be, yes, Tolliver. Craig is talking. We're doing our best to find a new stream with sound. We're doing our best. Still no sound on the court stream. Here as well. We're doing our best. We realize the sound issue. We're working on it. This is Tolliver. And if we do miss anything that he states, we will absolutely be bringing you the full victim impact statements. And here we go.
Next we have Rick Gray, who is office again, you have Mike Gray.
Thank you.
There's the website.
It is, should be up and running. So, would you like me to know today?
This is from my brother. There's been mention made in the testimony of witnesses and statements of attorneys about the closeness of the Gray family, about our shared belief in the possibility of regional nature of families. As you have heard, there are a lot of us, 10, 5 girls, 5 boys. I am the oldest, and Angie is the youngest. I first met Angie when she was 4 months old. Between the ages of 19 and 21, I absolutely knew that serving as a volunteer mission for a church. When I got there, my youngest brother was 4 months old. When I returned home, 4-month-old Angie was there. I'm closer to my parents in age than I was to Angie's age. I I didn't get to live in the same house with Angie for very long, just a few months. Before I went right to school and eventually married and started my own family. Now we are all older and spread out. 6 of my siblings have eventually migrated to Utah. I'm in Texas, Tim is in Arizona, Scott remains in western Kansas, and as you know, Angie ended up in Colorado. You might wonder how we can say that we were close when there are so many of us. There's a wide gradual spread in ages, and we are spread around the country. You've heard about our text chain. We've had monthly FaceTime calls going before Angie was gone. Rotating Christmas gift exchange, birthday carol, cards, and calls. Occasionally, family reunions, weddings, births, funerals, vacation visits, and other activities and events keep us up to date with each other. Whenever we get together, it's like we've never been. All those things certainly help us keep together and in touch, but they are only the support system for the primary force that makes us close. When we were growing up in our home, our parents set aside one night a week for family home. We had a theme for our family which we would repeat together during this time. Love makes our house a home. When you're born into the Prey family, you are accepted, you are included, you are loved. What is the requirement to be loved? Simply that you are a member of this family. That doesn't mean that to say that we always agree on everything, that we always approve of everything anyone of us does. We are like many families who work through those sorts of things, and we are successful because there is an underlying foundation of love and acceptance. This is a magical force in our family. If you are a member of the immediate family, you receive this love and acceptance. If you marry into the family, you receive this love and acceptance. If you are a child of one of the siblings or nieces and nephews, you are recipients of that love and acceptance. We don't have to know family for what to talk every day to feel and to extend that love and inclusion. Even in the midst of challenges, one of us might be facing. Angela was an insatiable lover of her family from a young age. She championed and loved a couple of her older siblings of an age out of major challenges they were facing. One of them says she saved him. She was best friends with her older sister. Her love of genealogy stems from her love of her family. Our love for our nieces and nephews extends to concern for their well-being and effort. Also, we love all of them because they are hers. I was always impressed with Angie's obvious love, friendship, involvement, care, and concern for her children. She loved them and supported them, and they loved and related to her. She was a special mother with a unique ability to connect with her kids. She was always finding ways to draw in and include members of her extended family. She was a light in our family that shone brightly. She didn't confine her love, service, friendship, and concern only to her family. We have heard from many friends who she has helped greatly and friends who loved her deeply. She was a force for positive change in her family, her own life, and in the lives of all those who had the opportunity. These words sound like superlatives, often spoken about someone who is young. The amazing thing is they are not superlatives and can be attested to by almost everyone who I speak of Angie as if she was still with us in this life. I wish that were true, because Jim decided to betray her trust and ours, because Jim decided to cast aside the love and forgiveness extended to him by Angie and us, because Jim decided to bring shame to his family and cast aside his good upbringing, because Jim decided to set aside his loves, needs, financial issues, and desires was more important than having his children raised by a mother who loved him. Because of the selfishness, greed, lust, dishonesty, and narcissism of Jim Craig, this bright young light has been extinguished. She is not here to add her light and strength to our family's love and companionship. She's not here to shine her light on the lives of her children. And we worry about that and then. There is a hole in the fabric of our family. There is a hole in the fabric of our family that cannot be filled. It is impossible to calculate the love, service, and good things lost because her life was needlessly and cruelly cut short. We join in the knowledge that this life is not the end, and that families can be eternal. That through Jesus Christ, all things are possible. I still wish I had my baby sister here today so I could continue to watch her shine and be a recipient of her life. I would just add some things. Might cover a lot of things that I wanted to say. Gave a good introduction to our family. I want to add some things about Angie that are more experiences that I had. My name is Rick Cray. I'm number 3, second boy in the family. When Andrew was born, I was about 17, and she was a cute little baby. Even you can see her personal. So I got to be in a big family. I got a lot of experience changing diapers. So I can make sure that I changed Angie's diapers. And she would probably say that her poop didn't stink, but I will attest. And she was just fun. I like babies anyway, but she was fun. I left to a mission also. I went to Belgium, Holland, and when I came back a couple of years later, she was 4 years old. About somewhere in there. And so she was at that age when she was talking, and she talked a lot. And I wish I could remember all the funny things she said, but I can't. I just remember that it was just fun to watch her grow up and to learn. And she was a little precocious, but very fun to be around. But I like my own night at life. I went to actually, when I got back, I went to junior college, and so I was there for only 2 years. Then I went to BYU and got married, and all that thing. It's the kinds of things that you do as you grow up. And so I would see her, like my extended family events and things that we attended once in a while. They would come to Utah sometimes. So things got, it's not as easy to remain close. But because we are the family that we are, we did. We knew what she was doing and what things were going on. 2013, my dad died. That was one of the things that brought our family together. We got to catch up on a lot of stuff, and that was kind of a sad occasion for us. But we buried him, and then we had to take care of my mom. We brought her out to Utah, so we had to sell her house, and she was there helping whenever she could be. We got her house in Payson, Utah, and then she was diagnosed with terminal cancer, brain cancer. And we, all the kids that were here or there, took turns, 24-hour shifts with my mom for 10 months. And Angie would come up, and she'd be there. And so I got to know her even better as an adult as we went through. And the kinds of service that she provided for my mom while she was there. She was very accurate with her medication, kept records us, do all that kind of stuff. And it was good to have her around. In fact, when she was there, we could tease my mom. My mom, we all have a pretty good sense of humor, but my mom had a good sense of humor too. We tease her about things, even sometimes things she couldn't do because we were too much. It seems cruel, but it's not. It's funny. And she would laugh, and Angie had some good sarcastic things that she would do. It was just fun, even when we were separate. She went through, when my mom died, she took all the photographs that we found in the basement and we cleaned out, and she digitized all those things. And it was a big process because there were a lot of photographs that my mom had inherited from her mom, and some even passed that. And she took them all the ones she couldn't get done while she was there back to her house, and she continued working on them, and we would get updates. And it was great. We still have those things out on the web that we can look at because Angie took that time. My wife became good friends with her through the years. We went up to see Nurse wedding. We went up to help her out, to help Angie get everything ready. I got to hang out the lights and the chingates, and it took me almost all day to do it. But I was glad to do it. It was really fun to be with her and see how she works and how she loved her children. And the things that she had done in that wedding were amazing. She had stuff for kids up on the stage and all kinds of displays that she put together. She was really dedicated to the mission. And just things like that through our whole lives. You know, she was always there for somebody who needed her. And there's a lot of things I could say, but I've taken enough time for that. But last thing I remember actually from that, I think that wedding was one of the last times I ever spent a good amount of time with Angie. The next thing that she did that I remember was Wendy and her, Tony, and I think Kathy went towards Roots Tech, which is the genealogy thing, and that's the last time we saw her alive. So we got to Aurora. When she was dying on the way, we found out that it was possible that Jim had poisoned her while we were in the car on the way. And it was very shocking to even think that would happen. When we got there, one of the things we were there with Jim's parents, and I got to talk to them a bit. And it was really difficult to be there and knowing what he had done and talking, or at least as far as I knew, we had enough evidence to know. It was pretty certain that's what had happened. And talking to his parents was, because I couldn't tell them, and I knew this was going to hit them hard. So the night before, just a few experiences. The night before he got arrested, he came home, and that was really difficult. I met him coming downstairs. I was in the living room. He went down the stairs and hugged me. I wasn't in a hugging mood, but first time in my life that I felt like I just really wanted to say no. And but I didn't. It's not me. And later that evening, he held a family night for his children and taught about the atonement. And my sister Becky, who's really close to Angie, I remember her kind of pounding her head. I think the dishwasher, something not real hard. She was having a really hard time. But to sit there and listen to him teach the atonement to the children, knowing what he had done. And I was just say to Jim, just a little bit, that, you know, think about what you've done. Think about your parents. Not just ask one thing that you tell your parents, that you come clean and you tell them the whole story and apologize to them so that they don't have to suffer and wonder about anything. I love Angie. I wish she was here, but she's not, and we'll see her again. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next we have Mark Pratt.
What would you like me to know?
I'm Mark, number 6. You can tell in a large family we have the sliding window. The upper 5, the lower 5. I'm the big brother of the lower 5. Even though Angela's 10 years younger than I am. And big brother in the way where you throw him up in the air and you have him on your shoulders and your head's getting hit by the ceiling fan. You don't really let it fall. It's not too big, that kind of relationship. The thing I want, hopefully, everybody to understand maybe a little bit more about Angela from a worldly perspective. People are going to think maybe she should have left this relationship early, right? Maybe not giving so many chances. Maybe she was codependent, all those crazy psychobabble things that you're going to hear. I'm sure as they come up, but that wasn't who Angie is. There's a couple of types of people I think in this world. There's villains. They're selfish, they think about themselves, and they'll kill you to take what they want. And then there's heroes, and they'll give their lives so that you can have the things you need. So that you and the Savior taught us that greater love hath no man than this, that he lays like down for his friends. Angela didn't know that her husband had bothered her children with sugar. Or I'm sure she would have left. What she didn't know was what she had a better understanding of was what love is. And love is more like a feeling. It's a commitment that you make to somebody on how you will treat them, that you'll always be there for them. And Angela loved her family. She was willing to suffer way beyond what I would have been willing to take. Betrayal and abuse from her husband. Because she believed she could help him maybe overcome those demons and keep her family together. Of course, it didn't work out that way. Because Jim killed her. But we've heard this idea. We have a concept of eternal families in our religion. We know that families can exist as a family even beyond this life. It's not something that's given. You have to make and keep sacred covenants with the word, and they're easy. It's just to live the gospel and to love others. One of the specific covenants we make is to be loyal, completely loyal, with complete fidelity and chastity to your spouse. If you break those covenants, you don't have that promise of an eternal family. Angela kept her covenants. She acted with love. Jim didn't. Angela will have her children in the next life because of her family. And Jim won't. Even though we miss her. And she was with us. In the end, Angie went. We know we'll see her. She's there waiting for us. She's there waiting for her children. It'll just take a little bit of time. Angela was a hero. The world needs more heroes
Or next we have Kathy Pratt.
What would you like me to?
Hello, Judge. First, I want to say this year we have an impact this heinous crime on our family. We're so grateful for you, for the amazing, for the compassionate support, for the amazing job they did. And I have to say, there was so much evidence. At times I felt as though they were swatting a fly with a wrecking ball. It was so comforting to be able to be on this side. When I was 15, Angela was born, and I adored her from the very beginning. And I called her Dee, which is what I called her whole life. Out of the 9 older siblings, there's not one of us that would have hesitated to put ourselves between her and danger. None of us could have imagined that the person she chose as her companion, the father of her 6 children, and the man we welcomed into our family as our trusted brother-in-law, would callously and cruelly, without mercy, take her life. And he perpetrated this murder while she was in her own home with her own children around her. It's heartless, cowardly. He's a pretender and a liar. He's a snake in grass. Conversely, Angela was generous. If you needed help, Angela was generous. If you needed help, Angela was there. Didn't matter if you were 15 years older than her or 2. She wanted to improve herself and was always learning new things and choosing to try new experiences. She was funny and happy. And we've heard all this over and over because we can't think of any other words. These are the words to describe her. She loved life. She loved her children without bounds. Family, whether it be her siblings and her parents, her children, they were and are the center of her universe. She was a force for good and wanted to accomplish so many things. She was so busy. She was a loyal friend. She never gave up on her marriage. She never stopped to rebuild. She never stopped trying to rebuild trust when it was destroyed. Never stopped trying to love the man that she had committed herself to, and he killed her for it. She could not know that this man was and is only capable of loving himself. It has been excruciating to hear the details of her life with this person whose judgment and treatment of her and his relentless infidelity were a constant source of anguish and heartache. To see the videos of him poisoning her over a period of 10 days, causing intense pain, confusion, and helplessness that ended in her horrific death has been unbearable. He seemed almost giddy as he recorded her symptoms to us in our family chat. He knew what kind of pain and trauma he was inflicting. He was torturing her. It has been shocking. We were fooled. We were unable to help her. We were unable to save her. We were unable to rescue her from the person that was supposed to honor her, protect her, and love her. He killed her. And then, in an attempt to save himself from the consequences of his despicable crime, he and his defense team disparaged her by attacking her mental health, her trust, her strength, her faith, her commitment to the family, and her ability to keep a confidence In an act of ultimate betrayal and ridiculous irony, they accused her of taking her own life. Simply shameful. His name is intentionally omitted from my statement. I don't plan to ever speak again. I will walk away from this courthouse and I will never look back. I will leave the final judgment to God. This convict is no longer my concern. He will join thousands of other prison inmates that are living a life they have earned because of their selfish and evil choices. Those are his people now. Ironically, this person who lived for the excitement of expensive cars, rich food, and a constant stream of women won't ever drive it down. He'll never again be alone with a woman, and he won't even be able to pick the clothes he wears or the food he eats, and I'm okay with that. Angela's gone. Losing a sibling is like losing a limb. How is it possible? Angela has loved fiercely. We believe in life after this one, and that we can be together again. I believe that when she left this world, she was greeted by our parents, our grandparents, our brother-in-law, our nephew, and so many others that cherish and love her. And know she's happy. She's watching over her children and her siblings and all those she loves. I will see her. I will hug her. And I will belly laugh with her again. In fact, I'm sure that Angela, when we leave this life, will be the one to embrace us, to make us laugh, and to take charge of the situation, because that's what Angela does. Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. Can I just make sure that I get your name for the record?
Catherine, Kathryn.
Next round, we'll get from Tony Co.
Good afternoon, Judge. I'm direct some of your remarks to the defendant and so to the court. That I will.
I'm gonna ask that you direct them to me.
Okay, I will be looking.
Thank you.
I stand here today knowing that no matter how I feel and no matter what I say, it will not have any effect on you. You are incapable of having real feelings for anyone, including yourself. So I speak today for my baby sister and best friend, Angela Dawn Prey, and her 6 wonderful children, who because of you will have to go through the rest of their lives without her in it. Her loss has left a void in my life that can never be filled. No more phone calls. No more texts. No more trips together where we talk and laugh through the night. You have taken away our opportunity to grow old together. We may be 13 years apart, but our hearts and friendship knew no age. Angela was beautiful, inside and out. She was smart, funny, confident, loyal, faithful, and honest. She was a fierce protector and always put others' needs before her own. She was nothing like she was described to you and to us over the last almost 3 weeks. Isolated, private, angry, closed, or broken. If she was isolated, she was lost in a good book or a great movie and didn't want to be interrupted. If she was private, she wasn't secret or deceitful. She kept personal things personal and confidences confidential. She was the kind of friend everyone needs. Someone you can trust with the most personal and yes, private things. If she was angry, as everyone can be, that just means she had authentic human emotion, something you know nothing about. Closed, I believe, was the new word used to describe her. by your defense team. The close implied she was withdrawn and withered. Angela was anything but withered. She was strong, and she knew who she was. She could command a room just by entering it. Her home was open to anyone who came, invited or not. It was a gathering place, and that's how she liked it. And the word that you allowed to be said over and over and over again was broken. For years you planned, you plotted, and you schemed to break her for your own selfish, unfathomable ends, but you never could. Angela's the picture of hope and optimism. In true Angela fashion, she wanted to help you, to understand you, to believe that you could be good. She didn't have a weak and broken mind. Her mind was clear and concise. She survived being married to you until you decided to repay her for her kindness, forgiveness, and willingness to love you by taking her life. Her life was not yours to take. Angela had a love and a passion for life. She loved her children, and unfortunately, she loved you. You didn't make it possible for her to take, or you did make it possible for her to have the true loves of her life. Toliver, Mira, Belle, Cleo, Nora, anything for her children. Not a day or conversation went by that she didn't send me a biasm or tell me something that her kids were doing or had done, good or bad. They were indeed her life. They were the joy that continued to make her heart beat. You have taken that away from them. Moms are moms, and she isn't perfect. But her love for her children is, that I know. Your marriage was not complicated. It was simple. You were dishonest, a cheat, and a heartless excuse of a human being. You not only purchased the weapons of her death, but you watched her slowly die as she casually walked through her house, as if it were just another day, all the while she is trusting you, relying on you, and continuing to believe you cared for her. You were supposed to be her protector, her advocate. She just didn't know that you were the perpetrator. You were the one lurking in the shadows of darkness and evil, getting anxious for the life to go out of her. You are a coward, and you will never know what freedom feels like again. Angela was the light you never deserved. You have temporarily dimmed her light in this life, but it will continue to shine in those she loves and that love her in return. She loves without guile, even someone who doesn't deserve it. You were never worth it, and you never will be. You once told Angela that she wasn't enough. I hope you go to the grave knowing that you were the one that wasn't enough, and you never will be enough. I love you, Angela. I made a promise to you when we said goodbye to you for the last time in the hospital. I told you that I would make sure that we got justice. Today, thanks to our prosecution team, Bobby Olson, and you, Judge, that promise has been fulfilled. Angela, you and I might not be able to be together for now, but I know you will always be with me until we are together again.
Thank you. Do you need my name? Please, for the record. Sherry Craig Earl. These are my thoughts on grief and family, and you've heard a lot today. I appreciate the chance, first of all, to speak openly about my sister's death after a very long public silence from our family. I'm the oldest daughter in our family, and Angela is the youngest daughter. So she and I did not live in the same house together for long. I left for college before she was born, and by the time she was 6 months old, I was married and never lived at home again, but I saw her often. In fact, she was only a year and a half older than my oldest child, Michael, so they were really more like brother and sister than nephew and aunt. At one point, Angela tried to make Michael and his younger twin brother call her Aunt Angela. Of course, they said no, which is how most of their interactions played out. Angela tried to be the oldest child for a change, and they would push back. When Michael passed away suddenly at age 18, Angela took his death hard, as we all did. She stayed by his bedside in the hospital until the doctors took him off life support, sitting vigil for him until the last. I know her reunion with my parents and my son was sweet. One of my last conversations with Ange before she died was about homeschooling Nora and I. Ange was trying to figure out a solid English curriculum for this new venture she and girls had embarked on less than 6 weeks before she was murdered. I know she contacted my other sisters as well, grilling them for resources and preparing herself so she could give Nora and Violet the best education possible. I admire her courage, and I know she worried that she wasn't up to the task. But being determined and strong-willed, Anne charged ahead in spite of her misgivings. She often felt the need to take charge and to prove, I think, that she was no longer the baby of the family, but a capable, grown woman. Ange was, and probably still is, as stubborn as the rest of our family. A fun and generous sister, a devoted daughter, and one hilarious and smart mom to her equally hilarious and smart children. Family is important to Ange, and she is important to us. So as a family, what does moving forward without her look like? After 2 years, I'm honestly still not sure, but I do have a thought. I determined years ago that those individuals who love sincerely and feel genuine concern for others are the only ones who can reach us with sympathy, encouragement, and hope, especially in the most agonizing moments of our lives. Strangers who rattle off plastic condolences as if reading them from a ticker tape, or who are morbidly interested in my family's pain and mine, simply offend me. Then there are the voyeurs, people who don't think to alleviate suffering or offer comfort, but have, for whatever reason, an odd need to know what's going on in my life in graphic detail. I find myself wishing they would fight their overwhelming curiosity a little harder. For the most part, though, people have kind motives. They want to console, but don't know how, and I am grateful for their sensitivity. The people who offer the greatest comfort to me, however, feel as deeply as I do about losing Angie, and most of those are in my own family. They understand without words the often unbearable emptiness I feel, the anger and the sadness, the loneliness, the despair in the wake of what has been taken from us. As a family, we are unique in our grief, but also in what we can give to each other, but no one else living on this earth can. No one loves Angie as we do, and no one feels her loss as keenly as we do. Now that this trial is nearly over, the world will go back to life as usual, while we will be left alone to find our way forward together. That is why we are and should be to each other the greatest comfort and the greatest strength as we learn how to be a family, -1. I hope you don't mind if I end with just a few lines from a short poem by Marie Howe, and I hear the groans already. Okay. Written after the death of her brother. Howe expresses better than I can what it looks like to live on in the face of a devastating loss. The poem is titled What the Living Do. For weeks now, driving or dropping a bag of groceries in the street, the bag breaking, I've been thinking, this is what the living do. And yesterday, hurrying along those wobbly bricks in the Cambridge sidewalk, spilling my coffee down my wrist and sleeve, I thought it again. And again later, when buying a hairbrush. This is it. Parking, slamming a car door shut in the cold. What you called that yearning. What you finally gave up. We want the spring to come and the winter to pass. We want whoever to call or not call, a letter, a kiss. We want more, and then more of it. But there are moments, walking, when I catch a glimpse of myself in the window glass, say, the window of the corner video store, and I'm gripped by cherishing so deep for my own glowing hair, chapped face, and unbuttoned coat, but I'm speechless. I am living. I remember you. Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Miriam. I was the second child of my mom and dad, her oldest daughter, and although I may not have been hers, she was my best friend. A lot of people keep telling me that my mom is here with me, but I hope more than anything that she's not. I hope she's somewhere so much better, yelling at people for not labeling their family history pictures. On videos and pictures and stuff that we've seen throughout the duration of this trial, you've seen some of the ugliest songs in the world. Two little fuzzballs that followed my mom everywhere. They loved her so much. One of them, he should be dead by now. We don't know why he's waited this long. I was supposed to be able to hug my mom when he died. And instead I was left to take him home and figure out what to do with him since my mom was gone. I was supposed to be able to plan my sister's weddings with my mom, even though there was nothing in the world I wanted to do less than plan weddings. I was supposed to be able to share with her the stories, and the things happening in my life, and the projects that I started and never finished. And I was supposed to be able to trust my dad. He was supposed to be my hero, and instead he'll forever be the villain in my book. And it hurts so bad every day, and I miss her so much. And I know there's so many more people that would love to be able to just stand up and say a lot about my mom and how wonderful she was, and some people who would just love to stand up and remind us some of the stupid things she did and said, and some of her crazy moments. But I think I speak for everyone when I say that life and the world will truly never be the same. It will never be as bright as it was when my mom was here with us. And I regret every single day that I don't get to spend my days growing up and introducing her to my babies and their babies and worrying about, like what retirement home she should be a nurse, and I should hire an in-home nurse or something. I don't know, Judge. I miss her. I want my mom. I want more than anything to go home at the end of the day and just give her a hug and call her and tell her about all the crazy stuff that's happened. And to get her advice, whether asked for or not, on my life. And I don't know, it's a terrible situation. We, like my brother said, we trust your decision, and we trust that justice has and will be served. And thank you to you and to the jury and to everybody who is here supporting my mom. Thank you guys for everything. And I'm sorry this is happening.
Thank you. Is that everyone?
That's everyone on behalf of
Thank you.
The defendant, James Craig, stands convicted of murder in the first degree after deliberation of his wife, Angela. This court heard he plotted, planned, researched, purchased substance after substance, and she survived and fought for her life. He found new ways to poison her, new substances, new means of administering those poisons. Most importantly, he took her away from her friends and family, some of whom the court has heard from today. We sat through, heard the evidence of what the defendant did, and the penalty for murder in the first degree is life in prison without parole. There's not discretion before the court as to that sentence, but if there were, that would still be the appropriate sentence for James Craig for what he did. In addition, he stands convicted of 5 other counts, and the common thread in 4 of those are that he embarked on a campaign to drag Angela's name from the dirt. He claims that she was framing him, or she was suicidal because she couldn't stand to be without him in her life, or that she was manipulating him. None of those things were true. As the evidence showed, as the jury found, what had actually happened was through his doing, not through any fault of Angela, not through anything that she could have done differently. It was James Craig and his choices from day one. Some of those things the court heard that he did are the attempt to make a deep fake video, the planting of false documents, paying witnesses to perjure themselves. And because these are separate acts after the fact of murder to cover up that murder, we're asking the court to apply a consecutive sentence to those counts. As he became increasingly desperate, realizing the evidence against him, he also tried to hire someone to kill witnesses against him, including Detective Olson, who's again in the courtroom today. And even an attempt to do those things would obviously have a chilling effect upon witnesses in this case, in every case as part of this court. And so that has a significant impact on the community when any defendant tries to do something of that nature, to silence or intimidate witnesses. And so because that is a separate and independent act, we would ask the court to apply that sentence to consecutive as well. And so the sentence that the people are asking for in this case is life in prison without parole, plus an additional 57 years. That would be the highest amount on each of those counts 2 through 6. That's enough about the defendant. Let's turn back to Angela. From everything the court has heard, both from witnesses who knew her and testified in this case, from her friends and family, from the statements that were made here today, she was loving, selfless, family-oriented, just a wonderful woman. That's the only conclusion that can be drawn from all the information that was presented about her. She'll be missed at family events, those group chat messages, and video chats. She'll miss out on trips to learn about genealogy and American history. She'll miss college graduations, high school graduations, even elementary school graduation for youngest. She'll miss out on any weddings. She won't meet any grandchildren, at least in this life. And for the court to find the appropriate sentence in this case, I think that is what should be the focus here. On what has been taken from this community, on what has been taken from this family, not like it was taken from this one. Thank you.
Thank you. Turn to the defense and see if there was anyone who wished to speak apart from the parties.
No, Your Honor.
Any statement that you wish to make at this time?
No, Your Honor, it's a mandatory sentence.
Finally, I'll turn to Dr. Craig and ask whether or not he wishes to make a statement prior to sentencing.
No, Your Honor, he is not.
Thank you. As both of the parties have indicated today, the sentence that the court has to impose on count 1 is a mandatory sentence of life without possibility of parole. I'm going to keep my statements, I think, relatively brief because in some ways the evidence, the crime, the verdict, and the sentence all speak for themselves. Dr. Craig unleashed a path of destruction as wide as a tornado and just as devastating. Damage to his children, damage to Angela's family, damage to his own family. None of the individuals that are here in the courtroom before the court today will ever be the same. Their losses may be different, they may feel different, but everybody here shares a loss, whether that is a mother who is no longer there, whether that is a son who will now be in prison for the remainder of his life. The individuals here today will share at least a loss. I do want to focus a little bit on the family. One of the things that I guess has been most impressive to the court has been the ability for the family to maintain some humor and some light. The ability to withstand the urge to dim the family and to allow her light to extinguish, but rather to embrace the joy she brought, to retell the stories, and to continue to create memories, perhaps not with her, but about her. It's a demonstration of the strength and resilience of the family. The children will need that strength, the guidance, and the loving hands from all of you. It's an impossible hole to fill when a child loses a parent. And a loss such as this cuts even deeper and more jagged under the circumstances in the situation when both parents are lost. Concluding today with a verdict and a sentence closes this chapter, but unfortunately, and perhaps maybe for the best, not the book. And I think that that is important for the family to remember as you continue to grieve, move on, maintain your alarms at 10 p.m., to take the time to remember who she was and what she meant to the family, and the memories that all of you now have the opportunity to share without having the additional burden of trial, hearings, court appearances, and to be able to put that behind so that you can begin to heal. It's a hole that will never fully be filled, but hopefully it is one that will be filled with joy, stories, and memories as all of you continue your text chain and all of the joy that you bring to one another. With that, the court at this time then will pronounce sentence as to count 1, murder in the first degree, class 1 felony. Court hereby sentences Dr. Craig to life without the possibility of parole. As to count 2, solicitation to commit tampering with physical evidence, the class 6 felony, the court at this time sentences Dr. Craig to 18 months in the Department of Corrections to run consecutive to count 1. As to count 3, solicitation to commit tampering with physical evidence, a class 6 felony, the court also imposes an 18-month Department of Corrections sentence to run consecutive to count 2 and consecutive to count 1. As to count 4, solicitation to commit perjury in the first degree, the class 5 felony, the court at this time will sentence Dr. Craig to 3 years in the Department of Corrections. Count 4 to run consecutive to all other counts. Count 5, solicitation to commit murder in the first degree, the class 2 felony. The court at this time will sentence Dr. Craig to 24 years in the Department of Corrections. That count to run consecutive to all other counts. Count 6, solicitation to commit perjury in the first degree, class 5 felony. The court at this time will sentence Dr. Craig to 3 years in the Department of Corrections to run consecutive to all other counts. Do we have a calculation of pre-sentence confinement credit?
We'll file something, Judge.
Thank you. Court at this time will note pre-sentence confinement credit from the date of arrest. Will amend minibus upon receipt of the pre-sentence confinement. And with that, the court at this time then will remand Dr. Craig to the custody of the Department of Corrections. Let me ask quickly though, before we do that, is there restitution that the court needs to be aware of?
No, Your Honor.
Court at this time will note on the minimus no restitution is being requested at this time. Anything else from the people,
No, thank you.
from the defense? No. With that, court is in recess.
Hey everyone, a few things. So let's just go over everything that just happened. So and by everything, and I do have Tolliver was the first one to give a victim impact statement, and we could not hear Tolliver at all. They did slowly start to improve their audio in court. That was not our fault. That was the live pool stream. It was on the court. It did improve further into the stream. Anything you did not hear, we will have to you later tonight in our recap and everything. And I do have Tolliver, the oldest son's full victim impact statement that we could not hear. And I will read that to you in a second. But James Craig has just been sentenced. He's been found guilty on 6 of the 7 counts. That's justice. The 7th count would be something of a lesser charge. Had they not been found him guilty on the first count of first-degree murder, he would have been maybe found guilty on the 7th count, which would be the 7th charge, which would have been aiding in self-harm. But that was unnecessary because they found him guilty of first-degree murder. For the hold on. For the first count, life without parole, without the possibility of parole for first-degree murder. For the second count, and the second count, let me pull it all up here. I have it all. Second count, which is solicitation to commit tampering with physical evidence. And this is what Annabelle Craig, writing his daughter Annabelle Craig and explaining that she needed to bail someone out and to make a deep fake. He received 18 months additional, and it was to run consecutive, meaning after the life imprisonment. There's that in additional so that you can't run them together. They don't get to be run together. It's back to back, consecutive, as someone said is their new favorite word. I'm with you here. Count 3, which is solicitation to commit tampering with physical evidence, that was count 2. Count 3, solicitation to commit tampering. With physical evidence. Casey Bohannon, that one. Casey saying that he wrote and asked for him to his help. That is also 18 months. He received consecutive. Again, consecutive is good in this situation as far as justice goes and a bigger punishment. Then the 4th count, solicitation to commit perjury in first degree. This is the William Walborn situation with that inmate. Guilty. It also means these jurors listened to these inmates and saw the evidence here. And he will be receiving 3 years for that count. 3 years consecutive. So we've got life without parole, 18 months, 3 years. And then the count 5. This was a big one. Solicitation to commit murder in the first degree. If you remember, he put a hit on Detective Bobby Joe Olson, as well as others, while in jail. That's a big one. A solicitation to commit murder in first degree. These are all big ones, but that's the Nathaniel Harris. 24 years. 24 years. So you've got life without parole, 18 months, 3 years, and now 24 years, all consecutive again. Count 6, solicitation to commit perjury in the first degree, 3 years. 3 years consecutive. And then there is no count 7 anymore because it was unnecessary, because that would be aiding in Angela to self-harm, and The jury's like, yeah, no, that's not a thing. What is a thing is first-degree murder. First-degree murder, he planned, he plotted, he with intent to kill, and he did kill and followed through. Life without parole. And then all of those other counts are consecutive, meaning he doesn't get to be counting his 18 months during his life. So, like, let's say he tries to appeal one of them, he still has 24 years plus 3 years. Someone do the math for me. I've never said math is my thing. 24 years plus 3 years plus 3 years plus 18 months plus 18 months. 24 years, 3 years, 3 years, 18 months, 18 months. That's in addition to life without parole. And so justice has been served. That was heartbreaking. We heard from 6 siblings. Angela is the youngest of 10 siblings who are very tight-knit. We had heard from 2 of those siblings during testimony, both her brother Mark and sister Tony, and Tony is her best friend and confidant. They had to be witnesses during the trial, and then they gave their victim impact statements. It was heartbreaking to hear some of the things they said. And again, we will have the full recap later. We heard from 2 of her children in victim impact statements. Tolliver was the first one, as well as Miriam. And Miriam was also a witness during the trial. Tolliver was the first one to stand up and give a victim impact statement, and we could not hear him. But I have his statement here. This is from Tolliver Craig. He is actually the only son of James and Angie Craig. They have 6 children. Tolliver is the oldest and the only son. He's actually named after his father, I'm assuming because it is James Tolliver Craig, and his name is Tolliver. So he has his father's middle name. He writes, quote, "This has been a very unique and hard thing. It's hard to lose your mom and 3 days later lose your dad, having to untangle everything he tells you. It's been hard not being able to mourn my mom. 2 weeks after she died, I set an alarm that's gone off every day at 10 p.m. to mourn her and miss her. We didn't get along great, but I'm sad there's no more time with her. It's a hard thing. It's just been really hard, Judge, and I appreciate everything you've done in court. You've been very important to me and my siblings for doing everything you've done. We trust your decision on everything else moving forward." End quote. And then Miriam testified as well as she testified during the trial, as well as stating in her victim impact statement that her mother was her best friend. Her husband was standing next to her for her victim impact statement. While she was on the stand, she had a therapy dog named Fancy, and she burst into tears when she said, "My mother's name was Angela." After her testimony during the trial, she walked off, and her husband was there to greet her and give her a big hug. And at this moment, you could see her husband standing next to her for her heartbreaking testimony. She and her mother were planning a future together and picking out places they would love to live. And she said that her mother was excited to be a grandma one day. Many people have asked how old Angela was. She was my age. I'm 45. So she 2 years ago, she lost her life at 43. We heard from 6 of Angela's siblings. Again, she was the youngest of 10. I wrote down a few things. I know it was difficult to hear. We will be bringing you a full recap later tonight. All of them spoke of their strong belief in families being together forever, that they believe that Angela is in a better place, that they will greet her and that they will see her again, and that their faith is a support to them. Their oldest brother talked about being 17 years old when Angela was born, and then he went on a mission to Belgium, and when he returned, she was 4 years old. He, of course, then had to go to BYU, and he got married, and he would always be able to see his baby sister at family events and how much he loved her and what a light she was to everyone. They referred to the man in front of them, James Craig, as a snake in the grass, as a coward. Kathy Prey said that she would never speak his name again. They talked about how Angie was so strong and so brave that she never even gave up on her marriage, but that this coward never deserved the light that Angela Craig was. Again, we will have some full, more detailed statements later tonight. Just going to see if there are any more updates that I need to share with you all before I move on. All right. I think we're as caught up as we can be at this time. So again, I will be back later tonight with more, but I also want you to know that in about 1 hour, less than 1 hour now, I will be doing a really important interview with someone connected to this case. It will not be live. I will do the interview and then we will bring it to you later. So there is a lot coming out today and tomorrow. In addition, we also have another interview for another case. So hit subscribe, hit notification because there's a lot coming. Thank you everyone for being here. We have almost 6,000 people watching, and that means so much because justice for Angela has been served, and I hope that her family can know how many of us care about Angela and about justice for her and for their family. That was heartbreaking. So, all right. Yeah. Rainey says, I am so glad justice is served, but it feels so hollow with the suffering of Angie's family. Yeah. Thank you all. Let me just check here too if there's anything pinned. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. Those were beautiful words from the judge. Thank you. Aunt Vicky, thank you for being here. Again, this is Aunt Vicky saying just heartbreaking. The aunt to Tammy Daybell, I can only imagine just how familiar this is. I'm so sorry. Miriam saying, I want my mom. And someone said they're going to go hug their mother right now. That's how I feel too. Life and the world will never be the same. Will never be as bright as it once was. Miriam also saying I was supposed to be able to trust my dad. And thank you for sharing the domestic violence hotline. Sometimes it's clear that there is DV, and sometimes it's not so clear, especially when it comes to emotional abuse. And yeah, difficult. But we can all learn the signs and the red flags. And if you believe a friend or someone is in that type of situation, please let them know. Thank you, because it is very, very confusing. All right. Thank you, everyone. We'll be back later with a lot more. So we'll see you. Bye-bye.